This is entrepreneur and author John McLaughlin thanking you for listening to another amazing episode of The Road to Rediscovery. It's time to sit back, relax, and listen as your host, Aubrey Johnson, safely navigates us through life's challenges and guides us on a rewarding path of self-discovery.
Our lives are laid out on a road of bumps, turns, struggles, and more. How do we respond? How do we endure adversity for learning and growth? I'm Aubrey Johnson, and we'll explore these questions and more on The Road to Rediscovery. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special solo episode of The Road to Rediscovery. I'm your host, Aubrey Johnson. The Road to Rediscovery is about reflecting on life lessons to learn and grow from them, and of course, pay it forward and uplift others who are struggling through dark times. This special episode is a short excerpt from the Rediscovery Roadmap course. That's an online digital course that I released just last year. The Rediscovery Roadmap is for those focused on their personal growth and development. It takes an introspective approach with tools and methods for improving in what we call the 4 cornerstones to personal growth, which are self-awareness, humility, gratitude, and service to others. Today, we're going to talk about humility, its meaning and impact on the world, a quite transparent, hit between the eyes explanation on the signs when we don't have humility, and lastly, how to become more humble. Now, mind you, humility is just one of the 4 cornerstones covered in the digital course, and this discussion is just a sliver of the humility cornerstone. The course is just $50, and the link will be available in the episode show notes. Now, humility is defined as a modest or low view of one's own importance, or to be humble. When we begin our journey of life, we are gifted with a sense of humility. Humility is a gift because it allows us to accept and question new perspectives and ideas, which can usher in personal and professional growth. However, as time goes on, things like ego and status can cause us to lose sight of this gift. If we start to believe that who we are and what we do is more important than anything else, we forget what others can teach us. So what does it look like when we don't have humility? The tunnel vision of vanity can often create the thought that we are, quote, too good to consider other people's thoughts or their opinions. Not demonstrating humility can have many impacts. 2 of those are negative interactions with others and a misdiagnosis of priorities. How we interact with others is part of what sets the tone for the happiness in our lives. If we're not mindful in demonstrating humility in all of our interactions, it is likely that people will try to avoid being around us. It's important to maintain humility in all interactions, especially when it involves a disagreement or debate, and especially if you are the one in the wrong in that debate. Also remember, struggling with humility and having authenticity, trying to embrace it, that is so much better than one who doesn't consider humility at all. We must hold ourselves accountable in order to maintain humility in all our interactions, which requires practice and persistence. Lack of humility can cause us to see ourselves as the center of the universe and lead to a misdiagnosis of our priorities. You may be asking, Aubrey, what are you talking about? Well, here's what I mean. If we fail to consider the importance of other people, we'll only act in ways that are beneficial to ourselves. I'm going to repeat that. If we fail to consider the importance of other people, we will only act in ways that benefits ourselves. And in essence, we become less likely to help others in need. In life, there are times when our needs take priority over the needs of others, and then there are times when others' needs take priority over ours. So how can we learn to be more humble? We can focus on creating a tough interior rather than a tough exterior. Our aim is to be the type of humble person who is deeply rooted and secure in who we are and our self-worth. That type of humility takes work, lots of work. Build that tough interior by taking a hard look at yourself in the mirror. When you have time, try this simple exercise. Number 1, look directly at yourself in the mirror for 30 seconds. Step 2, think of one good attribute about yourself for 30 seconds. Step 3. Think of one bad attribute about yourself for 30 seconds. How did you feel about yourself after step 2? How about step 3? How did you feel admitting your bad attribute to yourself in the mirror? Were you able to do this? You may be thinking, Aubrey, why are you putting so much emphasis on the bad attributes? Well, let's be honest with ourselves. We are pretty quick to take credit for our good attributes, right? But often hesitant with, and sometimes even in denial of, those attributes we see as our weaknesses. Being completely honest about our shortcomings helps us begin to foster a sense of humility within us. We must be critical when examining ourselves. This leads us to becoming fully transparent, taking ownership, equally acknowledging both our strengths and weaknesses. In your journey to rediscovering humility, you will learn that this process significantly helps increase your patience, as well as have grace for others in their shortcomings. I truly hope what I shared with you about humility gives you a glimpse into what is covered in the Rediscovery Roadmap digital course. There are short knowledge checks throughout the course, as well as commitment cards you can download and print as a visual reminder of your commitment to your personal growth. Again, the course is just $50 and can be accessed from my website, roadtorediscovery.com. That's road, the number 2, rediscovery.com, or by clicking the direct link in the episode show notes. And lastly, whether or not you take the course, I truly hope you have found value in our discussion today over humility. Thanks for tuning in and listening. And please know, while it may feel like it, you are not alone in your struggles, and there is always hope for you. Please share this show with someone you know who can use some inspiration, encouragement, and support. We're all roadies on this journey of life, and it sure feels good having you on the road with me. Thanks again for listening. We'll chat again soon. We really hope you enjoyed this episode of The Road to Rediscovery. We'd love to hear from you. Shoot us an email at roadtorediscoverypodcast@gmail.com and leave us any questions or comments you may have. The Road to Rediscovery is an AJ Shark production.